welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. And
The hand.
earlier this week, we were reporting about the student brawls, trading school brawls that we believe that it's between two schools.
Rivals, right.
And the police able to identify the person that actually chopped the hand off
Oh, okay.
the 16-year-old.
One of
Actually, the police able to find. Remember that we report about like 5 students on the motorcycle on the way home, and suddenly came out of nowhere another 6 kids from another school. Police able to identify all those 6 kids, and now they already turned themselves in.
Okay.
And definitely from the different school, and I think it's always better to not saying their school or their name because they are all under 18 years old. These 6 kids between 15 to 16 from the same school. But we have an update on the hand. The 17-year-old that got the hand chopped off, he was sent to Jalorn Krung Pracharak Hospital along with the hand that they're able to collect from the scene in hope that they will be able to reconnect the nerve. And the hospital itself said they don't have that kind of advanced surgery that will be able to help reconnect the hand. So finally, the mother of the 17 years old able to contact the Siriraj hospital and send him to Siriraj hospital. So he is already now out of the surgery. The hand was successfully reconnected. The doctor don't promise full recovery, but at least it seems like he will have his hand back.
Which is good. I think this is one of the things that Siriraj Hospital is actually
known for.
Yeah, they are quite good in terms of nerve system and such. So lucky for him.
Yes, lucky for him. And remember, he said he was just driving back home, and these people came out of nowhere. Of course, it will be a bit different story come from the other side, that they say they actually have some kind of fight or argument before that. So they both recognize each other's faces. So they weren't hiding, they were just hanging out around the area across from the Nonsi Vitaya school when they saw these kids on the motorcycle and
decided to.
They said that these 5 kids on 3 motorcycles stopped the motorcycle, actually said some really bad words and have some hand signs.
So bad mouthing each other, and that's
so they start the brawl and hand fall off.
Oh, that's too bad. But the good thing is, obviously, it shows you that our medical science is actually quite advanced.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, agree.
Okay, moving on to another case, and since we're gonna after this talking a lot more about environmental issue, and you're gonna Kun Tulip gonna mention to you about the Mae Wong Dam, which is obviously, if you haven't heard about it by now, you've probably been missing out a lot. Now, in this particular case, however, is into Surat Thani province, another land encroachment. We're talking about the luscious forest in Samui Island, and if the Surat Thani province, Samui Island is one of the biggest islands where it becomes one of the most attractive destinations for a lot of tourists. Now, in this particular case, it becomes quite, high profile due to the fact that the person that actually has been charged in this particular case by the DSI is actually Kun Tan Theuk Suban.
Oh!
And if you have heard the last name before, he's actually a son of Kun Suthep Theuk Suban, the Democrat Party's members, as well as the former Deputy Prime Minister during Kun Apisit Wechhachiwa government, of course. And they say that in this particular case, Kun Tan, along with 4 of his friends, are actually being charged. Well, at this point, they got bailed already. However, they are charged by the DSI for land encroachment due to the fact that there has been a report as well as false documentations that has been done to extend the land entitlement and land deeds for him and his friends, so that is extended into the forest land, because apparently, according to the DSI, the area that Kun Tan actually owns is about 35 degrees in volatile, so meaning that is considered a mountain, and technically is not, if it's a mountain, obviously that's part of the government's land, and you're not supposed to have that because it's under the forestry department. And they say that at this point there has been a report of concrete street that actually built to get all the way up to the top of the mountain as well.
Okay.
So I believe that Kun Tan probably will have to answer to a lot of questions. At this point, him along with his friend already got bail, but Kun Tharit Prengtit said that he will definitely take a look at this case and make sure that the charges being filed, as well as be able to close this case, because obviously this is one of the cases that quite severe, especially when we're trying to promote environmental conservation.
True.
All right.
Oh wow.
Moving on to the Mae Wong Dam.
Yes, after the big walk on Sunday, and I think it's
okay.
Now,
why long pause?
It's a long pause because actually yesterday, since last week that the news about Mae Wong Dam came out and about the walk to oppose the EHIF, the Mae Wong Dam, the public has heard a lot of support and a lot of opposition from celebrities,
right?
Especially in Thailand, celebrities like to use their Instagram to show their opinion. And yesterday was one of a very famous one that later he turned himself to be a producer of soap opera.
Right.
He was very, very famous back in the day when he was a main actor.
Right.
His name is Chatchai Plengpanit. He actually, it's I would say pretty harsh word what he said on the Instagram.
He's quite outspoken. Like he's not afraid. Let's just say that he's not afraid to voice his
He
view.
has been very outspoken. It's not a polite word, but he said something like, how can people keep damaging or hurting your own home country? The animal from hell will come waiting for you, but you probably won't be surprised because when you look in the mirror, you see that every day.
Yeah, something like that, but it's a lot harsher. I mean, if you study Thai language long enough, you will know that there's a difference between you as a you and insult. So obviously, he's not afraid to voice his view. That's for sure. But I did not expect him to be this,
outspoken with this kind of language.
Yeah, it's more like the language that I was surprised with.
He's pretty well respected in the
like it just showed the temper
industry. Yes.
Exactly at the time.
And along with that, with a lot of celebrities that came out to show opposition, yesterday Pramod Maiklat, the former Director General of the Forest Department, also came out and show his opposition. He is a very well-respected man in Thailand too. When it's come to actually, he was a former Director General of the Irrigation Department. When it's come to water management in Thailand and the irrigation system in Thailand, he is a very well-respected person. So he came out yesterday and talked about this dam because Pla Prasop is the guy that actually heading this proposal of this dam, said that Pramod is the one that proposed this project many years back. And Pramod said, yes, back in the time, this project showed, and it's not him personally, the department believed that building a dam would be a really good way to manage the irrigation system. But the research back in the day also showed that it doesn't worth it. And it couldn't keep enough water that would help with the irrigation system.
Let's just say the investment doesn't match the results that we're going to get.
So back in the day, it didn't pass.
For good reason.
For good reason, but Pla Prasop, of course, said, even though back in the day in the part, but you're the one that was proposing it. And it was in the news yesterday, even Mr. Sasin said it himself, but back in about 10 years ago, Pla Prasop is actually the one came out as the Director General of Forestry Department to show big opposition to building the dam himself.
Oh.
So 10 years later, his view on the dam project, that sounds kind of bad, the dam project changed.
Okay. Well, that's one of the things. I think that at this point, a lot of people that came out and voiced their concerns is for the fact that after, thanks to Kun Sasin, of course, but after we have, heard a little bit more, do a little bit more research on it, we realized that it might not be a good investment. Is like, obviously no one wants to be flooded, but at what cost? And it might not be a good cost at this point. It doesn't match to whatever we're going to get.
And Kun Pramod actually said that they can just move a little away from Mae Wong and will be able to produce pretty much similar results.
Right, because obviously to replant the forest is a lot harder than to redirect or detour all the flood canal.
And this is actually among the topic debated in the parliament yesterday when the government do the yearly report.
Yeah, they're going to talk about that too.
Kun Ying Galayya Sopon Phanit actually asked Plot Prasop about this project in particular. They used to work together when Plot Prasop was the Director General in the Forestry Department, and Kun Ying Sopon, Kun Ying what? Why I just forget her name? And this and Kun Ying was actually heading the foundation that helped the department grow the forest back in the day.
Galayya Sopon Phanit.
Galayya Sopon. Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the flooding situation. Now, a lot of people are concerned, but like I said, the dam might not be the answer, but we might be able to look for other way. Obviously, at this point, the Prime Minister has came out and talked about this a little bit because after she gave Kun Port Prasop the authorities to go around and take a look at this, take care of this particular event. But obviously the Prime Minister is still a little bit concerned with all the industrial estates in Ayutthaya province. Obviously we have a lot of factories in the area, and Ayutthaya is right where the Chao Phraya River flowed through. So obviously at this point the water level is quite high. However, at this point there has been the dikes that erected along several of the industrial estates already, but one in particular that's raised concern is Saharatana Nakhon Industrial Estate, which is still working on the dike, but hopefully it is going to be passed soon. However, at this point, Prachinburi seems to get hit quite hard, especially in Kabinburi district with the highest water level as well as rainfall within 26 years, and they say that at this point 16 provinces are suffered from the fact that their main roads, especially the highway, are cut off. So 32 altogether. So at this point, if you need to travel anywhere, I suggest that you check the route before you actually set off on your destination, because sometimes maybe you go not even halfway and you're gonna have to turn around because the road are cut off. At this point, there's also 4 provinces in particular that find it very, very difficult to actually pass through. Is Uthai Thani, Surin, Buriram, as well as Srisaket. Now these are all in the northeastern part of Thailand, so like I said, check your where you're going. And Kun Plot Prasop right now is creating what they call a war room, where all the concerned authorities will be working together, including the irrigation department as well as all the meteorological department, the disaster prevention and mitigation and such. These are just to name a few. Now they are already have all the boats in place. They have all the 2 helicopters altogether that will be circling around, make sure that these will be able to help, along with talking to the military to make sure that all the personnel are ready to at least form a rescue team and such, and assist all the people. Now in Nong Khai province, there also a report of quite severe damage to one of the temple, Wat Po Chai or Po Chai temple in Nong Khai province, where they have seen quite a little bit of a damage to the temple itself due to strong winds. And in Pathum Thani province, especially in Rangsit area, they say that be very, very careful. There has already been a talk about requesting all the residents to move your belongings up to the second floor. So if you live around the area, make sure that you listen closely to the announcement in your province, because you might need to move all your belongings. At this point, it seems quite bad, but it's probably not going to be as bad as what we have seen before. So all in all, at this point, it seems like flooding is still continue. However, the most severe part was the fact that the Public Health Ministry has already came out and reported that there's about 17 of the public health centers that are under inundation, plus 6 deaths due to drowning already reported, along with 1 person is still missing, but probably presumably dead due to the fact that there's carried away by flash flood. So we mentioned it before, and we're going to mention it again, is that if you live around the area that's close to a river, refrain from actually enjoy the water in the area. Make sure that, if you need to swim, go to a pool. Be careful of your children. Make sure that you know where they are at all time, because children seems to be drawn to water
just to play.
Exactly, and stay away from waterfalls as well. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna take a short break. We'll come back. Of course, there's a lot of things going on in the parliament yesterday, and a lot of things. We'll give you an update on that. Stay tuned.